President Trump's Attorney General Jeff Sessions revealing he will recuse himself from any investigation into the Trump campaign. It comes after the Attorney General did not reveal during his confirmation hearings that he met with the Russian ambassador twice during the campaign. And tonight we are also learning the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, also met with the Russian ambassador before the president was inaugurated, along with General Mike Flynn. Flynn, of course, forced to resign as national security advisor. Tonight, the Attorney General with his own explanation. Our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, leading us off.
Tonight, the dramatic announcement in Washington. Attorney General Jeff Sessions stepping back from any investigation into Russian interference in the election, amid accusations he misled the Senate about his own communications with Russian officials.
I have now decided to recuse myself from any existing or future investigations of any matter relating in any way to the campaigns for President of the United States.
It comes down to this moment from the Attorney General's Senate confirmation hearing. Sessions saying he had no contact with the Russians during the campaign.
If there is any evidence that anyone affiliated with the Trump campaign communicated with the Russian government in the course of this campaign, what will you do?
Senator Franken, I'm not aware of any of those activities. I have been called a surrogate at a time or two in that campaign, and I did not have communications with the Russians.
But it turns out he did. The Washington Post first reporting Sessions met with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak twice in the final months of the campaign. First at a gathering in Cleveland during the Republican National Convention, and again on September 8th in Sessions' Senate office.
We need to make America great again.
Sessions was one of Trump's top advisors in the campaign, the first sitting senator to endorse him. His September meeting with the Russian ambassador came in the middle of the controversy over the election hacking, and just one day after candidate Trump said this about Russian President Vladimir Putin.
If he says great things about me, I'm going to say great things about him. He's been a leader far more than our president has been a leader.
So did that moment come up in Sessions' meeting with the Russian ambassador? Today, Sessions says he does not remember what, if anything, they discussed about the campaign.
I don't recall, but most of these ambassadors are pretty gossipy, and they liked this was in the campaign season, but I don't recall any specific political discussion.
Sessions said he met with Kislyak purely in his capacity as a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, and that the meeting during the GOP convention was a brief encounter with other ambassadors present.
Let me be clear. I never had meetings with Russian operatives or Russian intermediaries about the Trump campaign. And the idea that I was part of a, quote, continuing exchange of information during the campaign between Trump surrogates and intermediaries for the Russian government is totally false.
But the Attorney General acknowledged today that he could have been more forthcoming at his confirmation hearing, saying he was, quote, taken aback by Senator Franken's question.
In retrospect, if I should have slowed down and said, but I did meet one Russian official a couple of times, that would be the ambassador.
And Pierre Thomas with us live from the Justice Department tonight. And Pierre, what's the status of the investigation into Russia's meddling at this point into the election? And what happens now that the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, has recused himself? Who takes over?
The FBI is still investigating Russian interference in the election, still searching to see if anyone tied to Trump had contact with Russian intelligence. And the investigation of the Russians now will be overseen by Acting Deputy Attorney General Dana Bente, appointed by President Obama.